Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in November, and it wasn't very many, so it's probably not going to be that long of a video. I'm also going to do a bit of a life update, and you know what, let's start with that. So if you've been on this channel before, you probably know that I like to write, and November is the time of trying to write 50,000 words in 1 month. And I decided that I was going to try and finish my novel, and I did actually end up writing 89,000 words during November, and that might partially explain why I read so few books this month. So honestly, about 50,000 words of that was the conclusion to my novel, or like the first draft of my novel. And honestly, that is kind of amazing because I feel like I've been working on this novel all year, and getting to the end is so exciting. Like, I can't wait to actually properly tell you guys about this novel when I feel a little bit more confident with it, perhaps when I'm further on in an editing stage. I'm a much better editor than I am a writer, so I'm really looking forward to sort of plowing back into this, but I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a break, and then I started writing fanfiction again, and then fanfiction happened. And you know what fanfiction is like? It's like a deep dark black hole that you just fall into, and then you can never get out, and you're like, help me, and everyone's just like, have some more fanfiction, it'll help. It doesn't. Anyway, so I've been writing my own stuff and then writing fanfiction to have like a little bit of a break between going back to it, and it's been a very exciting time for me. I am super looking forward to getting back to it and starting to work on it again, because I think there's a lot that needs to be done with it, but it's exciting. So there's that. I also went on a writing retreat to Switzerland. There's a vlog of that if you haven't seen it. I'll link it in the description below, but essentially it was just me being in Zermatt and Geneva and doing some writing, and that was really great. And then I came home, and I'm pretty sure I got COVID on the plane. So that was super. I don't actually know because I didn't test for COVID, but I wasn't going anywhere. I was literally staying in my house because I couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. It was horrible, and that's why you saw very few videos of me in November as a whole, because I had some stuff that I pre-filmed and I was like, okay, that's it. That's all you get. So, you know, let's actually talk about the books. The whole reason that you are here, and I am here, and we are here, cumulatively, all together, in this space. Can you tell it's been a while since I filmed anything and the words are coming out like blah 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 blah? Because I'm sorry, we just have to deal with that. Editing me is gonna hate me for this later as well, so let's talk about the books. So I actually only read 4 books in November, and the start of the month, 2 of them just didn't rate anywhere near as well as I wanted to, but I did end the month on 2 5-stars, so definitely hang around for those because they were both great books and I want to recommend them. So first up we have The Cavern by Alistair Hodge. This is another creature feature type horror book that I really like finding, but seem to never really enjoy as much as I want to, which is like a weird shame. And this one is about a creature that lives inside a cave system in Australia and eats people. It like mimics people and then eats them. The reason I picked this book up was because it's a cave diving horror, and the book that I am writing is about cave diving with some horrific elements, and it's also like a fantasy thing. Anyway, so I am fascinated by cave diving and how horrendously difficult and dangerous it is just on its own, and then if you add in the extra aspect of a monster or some things, then I find that even more intriguing, and I feel like it should hit really hard, and this one just didn't. I kind of found that all of the characters were a bit interchangeable, and I found it quite hard to like separate people in my mind, because I was like, oh, who are you, and who's dying now, who's dying now, because I didn't know, and I found them all a bit forgettable. It was fun though. I just didn't quite get as much of either the horror from caving or the horror from the monster that I wanted. I don't know, I just wanted things to push a little bit further than they did, but it's okay, it's fine. Just not necessarily what I would have loved. So I rated this one 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I picked up was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. Now this book I did as a buddy read with Emily from Novelle Novels, and I really liked it when I first picked it up. I was having very it's autumn now vibes, and I was watching the Gilmore Girls, because every now and again you need to rewatch the Gilmore Girls, it's like the law, and this book is very Gilmore Girls coded. It's basically if Lorelai and Luke's relationship was like the whole focus of a book with like some extra things happening. Now I really liked it at the beginning for about the first 100 pages, and I thought it was really cozy and cute and nice, and I liked it a lot, and then I got a bit bored. I think the problem was that This book had a bit of insta-love in it, and I feel like it should have been more slow burn. Like, we should have dragged it out a little bit longer, and they shouldn't have been in love immediately, and it was a little bit too predictable. And I know that that kind of thing sort of adds up to a cozy vibe. It just kind of annoyed me because I was like, it's too predictable for me, just too much. I'm still willing to continue on with this series, and I definitely want to read the next one because maybe it'll be a bit different and maybe it'll be less insta-lovey. I feel like the next one could have a different sort of trope as like the main trope, so I'm holding out hope that it could be alright because the writing was okay. I did find the sex scenes a bit boring, but hey ho, I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Sadly, a little bit disappointed with this one. So next up, I finally finished reading Belladonna by Abilene Grace, and this book was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. I was so happy, and I knew it would be if I just read it at the right time. So I'm really glad that I didn't like push through and read it when I was in like the hard slump area that I was at the beginning of the month. Like, I finished this one really quite late into the month, and I'm really glad because it has that gothic type vibe that really hits well when death is involved. Like, the personification of death is a character in this, and the whole premise is that there's a girl called Signa who doesn't die. And basically the whole book is about her trying to figure out who is trying to kill her family members that are still alive that she ends up with. Anyway, it's great. I loved every second of this. I need to read the next book, and I know it's like a whole series, but like I really need to read the next one. So that's like one of the books that I'm most looking forward to picking up next year because it's gonna be great. And the way that this book ended, I was like, okay, I'm all in, so in for this, and I can't wait. I also love that, like, while I could predict a few things, I couldn't predict everything that was gonna happen, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like it. So I definitely recommend this one for you if you like that kind of gothic fantasy-esque vibe with sexy death. 5 out of 5 stars. And then finally, this is the book that I credit to actually getting me out of the reading slump, because I don't really count Belladonna because I was basically halfway through it when I finished it, but this book, I steamed through it and absolutely could not stop reading. It was The Rivals by Holly Rose. So this book is a Formula One sports romance about a woman who gets newly promoted into F1, and she's the only woman in the F1, and she goes to this party at the beginning of the season, and this guy starts flirting with her, and he's the champion of the F1. He doesn't recognize her, so they start off on edge, and it's just such a good sports romance. I don't even like Formula One, I don't, but there was something so investing about this, and I think it was the way that you kind of go through each race throughout the season, and you get like the scoreboard, and then as you near the end, something happens that makes you incredibly invested, and you're sitting there going, oh my god, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be so pissed. And I don't know what to say about it because it was really great. Also, if you're looking for a book with a good mum character in it, I love the mum of the main character in this book. She was great and she needs a mention. The rivalry and the banter between the two characters and like the tension was really great, and I think this was just a really good book. This is the author's debut and I really enjoyed it, and there's definitely space for a second book in this series, so I'm really counting on that one coming out because I enjoyed this one a lot and I feel like the next one has a lot of potential. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. So there we have it. Those are all the books that I read in November. It wasn't much, but I did write 89,000 words, which is much. And if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!